There is a nerve in your body whose only job is to make you wince when you lose money. It sits behind your ribs, wired straight into the same part of your brain that reacts to a burn, a cut, a slammed finger. For most of human history, that nerve kept you alive. It made losing food, losing shelter, losing anything hurt enough that you'd never let it happen twice. Right now, yours is asleep. Not damaged, not gone, just numbed on purpose by companies that spent years learning exactly how to do that to you. Think about the last time you handed someone cash. Real bills peeled out of your wallet. There's a flinch in that moment, isn't there? A tiny, almost embarrassing reluctance. That flinch is ancient. It's the same alarm that once told a person standing at the edge of a cliff to step back. Losing something you can hold in your hand registers instantly as danger. Now think about the last $10 a company took from you automatically. Try to picture the exact moment it happened. You probably can't. And that's not a memory problem. That's a nerve that never got the signal in the first place. Here's the part almost nobody says out loud. This isn't an accident of modern convenience. It's engineering. Every frictionless tap, every card on file, every free trial that quietly becomes a paid plan was built by people who understood something about your body before you ever did. That pain, real physical pain, is what stops you from spending. Take away the pain and you take away the brakes. So they took away the pain, one small design choice at a time, until spending felt like nothing at all. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. Doctors have a name for what happens when a nerve stops reporting damage. It's called neuropathy. People with it can step on a nail, walk around for days, and not know anything is wrong, until the wound is already infected, already spreading, already costing far more than a nail ever should have. The injury was never really the nail. The injury was not feeling it happen in time to stop it. Your finances are developing the exact same condition, except instead of a nail, it's a $9 app you downloaded during a free trial 11 months ago. Instead of an infection, it's $40, $60, $90 a month, quietly compounding in the background of a life that's too busy to check. This is what people mean when they talk about forgotten subscriptions and subscription creep. But almost nobody explains why it happens this way to this many people at the exact same time in their lives. It isn't a coincidence. It's a nerve going quiet on schedule. This is the moment most videos would hand you a checklist. Go audit your subscriptions, they'd say. Open your bank app, cancel what you don't use, download some app that promises to hunt down hidden charges for you. And none of that is wrong, exactly. But that instruction alone has never actually worked for anyone long-term, because it treats a nerve problem like a memory problem. You don't forget these charges because you're careless, or lazy, or bad with money. You forget them because your body was never given a reason to remember in the first place. Watch what happens the next time one of these charges hits your account. There's no receipt shoved into your hand. No cashier standing there waiting for your reaction. No moment where your body is forced to register a loss the way it would with cash. The money simply relocates from your account to theirs while you're doing literally anything else, sleeping, driving, half watching a video like this one. The transaction was designed, deliberately, to happen in the one window of your life where you couldn't possibly flinch. And here's the twist most people never see coming, the part that actually matters more than any single subscription. It isn't the $15 streaming service that's the real threat. That one's small enough you'd probably survive forgetting it forever. The real threat is what happens to a nerve that's stayed numb for years. It doesn't just miss individual small losses. Eventually, it stops noticing large ones too. People who have gone quiet on 9, 10, 11 of these small charges don't flinch at a price increase either. They don't flinch when a free month quietly rolls into an annual contract, or when 3 different services all raise their price by a few dollars in the same season. The numbness spreads exactly the way real nerve damage spreads, from the small stuff outward, until the big stuff can't be felt at all. That's the actual danger sitting quietly inside your phone right now. Not one forgotten app. A slowly expanding blind spot where your financial pain response used to live, growing a little wider every month you don't notice it. Picture the moment this usually gets discovered. Not during a calm afternoon of budgeting, but during a scramble, rent due in 3 days, checking account lower than it should be, scrolling through a bank statement looking for anything that explains where the money went. And there they are. 6, 8, 11 small charges, none of them shocking on their own, all of them adding up to a number that feels like a betrayal. Not because anyone stole from you, because a nerve that was supposed to warn you months ago said nothing at all. That's the moment people usually call themselves careless. They weren't careless. They were numb, and numbness doesn't announce itself. It just quietly withdraws its warnings until the day the bill finally does the talking for it. So here's where this gets genuinely useful, because the fix is not what you'd expect, and it isn't another budgeting app promising to save you from yourself. You cannot out-discipline a nerve that's been anesthetized. Willpower doesn't reach a signal that never arrives. What you can do instead is force that signal awake on purpose, deliberately, the same way doctors sometimes have to physically stimulate a numbed limb to bring feeling back into it. There's a reason paying in cash still hurts, even in a world that's trying to erase that feeling entirely. The pain was never a flaw to eliminate. It's information your body evolved to give you. So the smallest, strangest, most effective thing you can do is reintroduce that friction on purpose, even now, even in a cashless world. Some people do this by making one single day each month the only day any recurring charge is allowed to renew. So instead of 11 separate silent moments scattered across 4 weeks, there's one loud one, where every charge sits in front of them at once, and the nerve finally has something large enough to notice. Others switch every subscription payment to a card they physically have to re-enter by hand each time it renews, manually rebuilding the exact friction the entire subscription economy spent a decade quietly removing. None of this is about guilt, and none of it is about restriction. It's about giving a sleeping alarm system something loud enough to finally wake it back up. And once it wakes up, something shifts that's genuinely hard to explain until it happens to you. The charges that used to disappear silently into the background start to feel the way they did the very first time you ever paid for anything, present, real, worth noticing again. People who try this describe the exact same sensation over and over. Not guilt, not deprivation, just suddenly being able to feel their own money moving again. That feeling, the flinch, was never the enemy here. It was the alarm system doing precisely what it evolved, across hundreds of thousands of years, to do for you. Which raises the real question, the one actually worth sitting with after this video ends. If a handful of design choices, made by people who studied your nervous system more carefully than you ever have, could quietly switch off a warning system that old, that essential, that deeply wired into your survival, what else might have been switched off the exact same way, somewhere else in your life, without a single person ever telling you it happened? That nerve was never lost. It's still there, right now, behind your ribs, waiting for one moment loud enough to make it flinch again. The only real question left is whether you give it that moment on your own terms this week, before the next silent charge slips through, or whether you let the silence keep spreading a little further into next year, and the year after that, until feeling nothing becomes the only thing your finances know how to do.